and turn it on. Glenn, Angel, and the Fly Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
If you're watching us on The Big Show TV on Facebook and YouTube, you would see Glenn with us with a mask on. He is unwell, so he's not going to be joining us today. We wish him a speedy recovery, but we do have Adrian Choo, who is here for Happy at Work Thursday. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to all our Kiss 92 listeners out there.
Today we're talking about Mind the Gap. I mean, I want to jump straight in because we have you for a short time today, only till 8:30, because we have two other guests that we're going to welcome in from Matilda.
Oh, yeah, that
Matilda Musical. So tell us, what's Mind the Gap?
So, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and he was complaining that, I feel I should be the CEO, but, I'm not given a chance and everything. And he was blaming everything else. So I was reminded of this joke. I saw this internet meme, which says, do not blame other people for your failures.
Yeah.
Learn feng shui and blame the furniture.
Okay, it's the wall's fault.
I like it.
So when you bring yourself back to reality, sometimes you don't achieve what you want to achieve. And the question is, whose fault is it and why is it happening? So sometimes it's a matter of gaps, having gaps in what you want to be and what you are right now. So today we can talk about 5 different types of gaps that we see whenever we coach our clients. Of these 5 gaps, 4 of them can be fixed. 1 can't.
Oh.
One can't.
One cannot. Okay, all right.
Wow.
Very difficult to fix that
To
one.
fix that one gap. So there are 5 gaps, right?
5 gaps we're going to talk about today. Yeah.
Do you want to go through them as a whole first, and then we can jump to the Big Show TV and go to the first one?
So the first, there's a talent gap, there's a skills gap, there's an effort gap,
Okay.
there's an experience gap, and then there's an attitude gap.
So the experience gap is the one you can't fix.
No, actually you can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah,
course
just
you
by getting more experience. But the one you can't fix is the one we're going to talk about first, is the talent gap.
You cannot fix the talent gap.
Because-
I would have thought you can.
No, because you can learn a skill. You're either talented or you're not.
Yeah.
Really? But I feel like people can learn to
a certain
become
level,
talented.
To a certain level, you can. Like now, I was hoping Glenn was here because then we can talk golf to him. Then you'll never stop talking anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So good thing he's not.
It's like, imagine someone says, I want to be the champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put in the effort and everything, but if you don't have the talent to get right to the top, to be a single digit handicapper, it's a talent gap.
That's
That
something you're
natural
born
talent,
with.
yeah.
You're born with
Like
it.
I can't sing. You can put me through, you can train me, you can get definitely to train me for 5 years. I
Can't sing.
I can't sing.
Yeah.
There's a talent gap. So some people, they say, I want to be the CEO, but you don't have the talent, you don't have the predisposition for it. That is a bit hard to fix.
Okay,
yeah.
can someone without talent, and I've seen this in organizations, surround himself with people who have talent that make him look good?
Yes, that's one of the ways to fix it.
Ooh, all right. So all those people without talent, stay tuned. We're going to jump on the Big Show TV and speak a little bit more about how you can be perceived to have talent, maybe. Here's Olivia Rodrigo with Vampire on Kiss 92.
Yeah, so we were talking
perception.
So we were talking about talent and how you either have it or you don't. And I have seen this with people as high as CEOs who don't have the talent but surround themselves with their cronies.
Yeah.
Standing on
do
the
have
shoulders
the
of others.
I like the way you use the word cronies. Yes,
Yeah.
they kind of are.
Correct.
They're just like the groupies that follow him everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And when he moves a company to another company, his groupies just folloh him.
Follow
over,
them along,
right?
yeah. And they make him look good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good thing to have. I need to get some groupies then. Not that I need it, but get some people running around behind me.
Yeah, you reckon?
Okay.
So sometimes you have to recognize that you cannot be talented at everything. There's some things which you're good at, some things you're not so great at. But if it is something like, okay, for me, I've come to accept that there's no way I can sing, so I'll never sing.
Okay.
So I stay clear away from that because I don't want to aggravate my neighbors. But
And you don't want to disappoint yourself.
yeah, you're
Right?
setting yourself up for failure if you
You're gonna
can't
manage
do
your
it, right? I can't dance, I
expectations,
can't sing.
Yeah.
So I just stay away from all that.
Yeah.
But if you have if you want to run for a particular role and if you really need the talent for it and you don't have it, then maybe like what FD said, if you surround yourself with people who have that talent and if you can delegate and leverage off them, that helps as well. So it's one of the formulas for talentless people.
Don't be so mean.
That's why a lot of bosses, you see, sometimes you're right. They don't have the talent for it, but sometimes
Everyone around them.
yeah. But when you have a role like a CEO, where it's a multifaceted, you need to have a knack for numbers, you need to have a knack for people management, strategic thinking. If you put it like if you think of someone like Bill Gates or even Steve Jobs, I'm sure he's not a singleton. He doesn't stand alone.
No.
He has a team of very strong people.
Yeah.
Like I was watching Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA, the AI chip company, right? He says he has direct reports, 55 direct reports only. He doesn't bother about anyone else below. So he says that's my core group of people. I do not have performance reviews with them. I give them feedback on a daily basis. They just come in, we talk, and he surrounds himself with those 55.
That's a lot of people
geniuses.
to surround
Yes.
yourself with.
But it's $1 trillion company
Yeah,
now, so
yeah.
you cannot do it alone.
Yeah.
No one stands alone. I don't believe Steve Jobs stands alone.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And like I always say, like it's good to surround yourself with people who are smarter and more talented than you.
Yeah.
Because that way you learn, right? Why would you want to hang around with anyone that's not less than, but doesn't stimulate your creativity, your intelligence, and you don't learn from them? What's the point?
Yeah.
But some bosses, some people are insecure, egotistical.
Yeah.
They don't want to be around smarter
People, yeah.
Much to their detriment, I would say. But that's why we need to figure out what sort of talents we are lacking, or we don't have the natural predisposition for, and find people who maybe they have it, can advise you. I think that's one way of covering up that gap. Mentorship as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think you need to recognize that if you don't have the talent for it, don't. Some people don't have talent for numbers.
Yeah.
Don't become an accountant.
Yeah. No, I hate numbers.
Even if you land the job, you might hate it.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to be aware of that. So that's the first gap we're looking at.
Okay.
The second gap is a skills gap.
That can be polished up. That can be fixed. Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to have a certain level of expert. Okay. So when we talk about skills, there are two things we always talk about. Number one is, do you have it or do you not have it? So it's like solving a Rubik's Cube. Can you guys solve a Rubik's Cube?
No.
I hate the
I
Rubik's
cannot
Cube.
for a, like,
can't
I
do
One
know
it.
side
there's
I
a
can.
formula. I know there's a formula. I think I've done one side.
Yeah.
My son can do it in like 2 minutes something or 1 minute something.
There's an algorithm.
Yeah,
or
there is an
something.
algorithm.
Yeah.
There's a trick to it. There's
Yeah.
like I think they start from the middle or something like that. There's who knows?
Yeah, I have no
yeah,
idea.
anyway,
So
but they can do it. Yeah,
They can do it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
But I think once we learn
Yeah.
that formula, you can.
Yeah, the algorithm.
Because there
behind
is,
it,
and it's just the speed that you go at. Because there is a formula. There's literally like left, right, left, top. This and then
twisted,
once
yeah.
you and it's like riding a bicycle, right? Once you
Yeah,
practice
yeah.
it, you become. Whether you become quick doesn't matter, but as long as you can solve it,
Yeah.
doesn't matter the
And
time.
you bring up the exact point I was going to say. So there are two factors. Number one is, do you have it? When we talk about skills, do you have it? And the second one is, if you have it, how good are you at it? So you may be able to
Fix
sort out
it.
the thing, right? But can you do it in under 1 minute?
Yeah.
Are you that good?
But this thing of you don't have skills and you can learn skills, that is also dependent on your
Talent.
aptitude,
Your attitude, yeah.
right? You've got to have the right aptitude in
Yeah.
order to learn a skill.
Yeah.
Correct?
So it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
And
together.
a little bit of talent also comes involved with that.
I think
isn't
so,
it? Right?
right?
I
Yeah,
think a
to a
little
degree.
bit. To a degree, yeah.
I think to reach the pinnacle of anything, I think what at the core of it is still talent. You must have that natural talent. I know this. I've seen these competitions, these Rubik's Cube
Yeah.
competitions. These kids,
It's ridiculous.
6 seconds to
It's
do.
crazy. You
all
don't
6
even
sides.
you don't even see them do anything.
Yeah, you don't see
Yeah.
their fingers. It's like,
Yeah. What?
yeah, it's like, what? Seriously, is that a trick?
Yeah.
It's not. They really do it in 6 seconds.
It's crazy.
And that Chinese guy on the internet who juggles 3 Rubik's cubes and solves
yes,
it
I've
All
seen
of
it.
it at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah. I don't know.
no, that one you need talent, effort, right? Everything.
That's
Yeah.
everything. Talent,
Really,
attitude, effort, skills, and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why the skills gap. So if you might say I have a skill. Like I can tell people I speak Spanish.
Yeah.
No, I only know 2 words.
How well do you speak
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
How well
exactly.
do I speak
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I see a lot of.
I can order beer, but
Yeah.
Much cerveza,
Yeah.
por favor, and that's
Exactly.
about it, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, hang on. Let's go for traffic.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you're on the SLE heading towards the CTE, look out after the TPE exit and avoid lane 1 because an accident situation is there. And also on the PIE towards the airport, there's some car trouble right after Stevens Road's exit. So look out for that as well. If you spot anything, it's 8855-0920. All right, we're Happy at Work Thursday with Adrian Choo, and we're talking about minding the gap, and it's got nothing to do with getting off the train. We're talking about some gaps that you can perhaps narrow with a few key, not skills, but key
tips and tricks.
tips and tricks.
Tips and
Yeah,
tricks,
tips
yeah,
and
yeah,
tricks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the talent gap. We're talking about skills gap. Skills gap being whether or not you have the skill, and even if you have the skill, how skilled are you at it? Because there are times when you have a rudimentary, and a lot of times at interviews, job interviews, you tend to give the impression that you're really skilled at something,
Yeah.
And you're not.
and you're not. And the worst thing is not that the interviewer smells it and doesn't give you the job. The worst thing is
If you get the
you
job,
get the
and
job
you can't do
and you
it.
can't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can fly a plane.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And suddenly you hear the controls. Now you're in the cockpit. You're like, okay, no, I
So
haven't.
which button do I press?
I was talking about the remote control planes. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
So skills can be bridged. Or skills gap can be bridged just by picking up the skills and doing more of it. But that comes on to the third gap, which we want to talk about, is the effort gap. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said that his son was a really good golfer.
Okay.
He's still in school, still a very good golfer, and he could make at least he could top rank if he wanted to.
Okay.
So my question was, why isn't he top rank now?
No, he's not putting in any
Yeah,
effort.
is it a skills gap? Is it a talent gap? Or is it an effort gap? And it's an effort gap for him.
So he's clearly talented.
Yeah, talented.
He has the skills.
He has the skills. His skills are improving.
Okay.
But it's an effort gap.
And the
because-
skills are improving because the father is forcing him to go for his lessons and play and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
right?
But he likes it. But he's not that.
He's not all in.
He's not all. He's not
Yeah.
like Joseph Schooling.
How
Who wakes
old
up
is
at
this
4,
boy?
15.
Oh, right.
He's
okay.
still young. But
Yeah.
look at Joseph Schooling. He wakes up at 4. He wakes his
Yeah,
parents
it's
up at
crazy.
4 in the morning
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
pool, right?
Yeah.
And he puts in the effort. You
Yeah.
look at Michael Phelps as well.
Yeah.
These
Same.
guys, they're all monstrous DNAs in them that makes them drive. If you look at Elon Musk and these guys, they only sleep 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they put in the effort to get things done. And these are insane levels of effort. So, but in our normal working life, it's a question of I want to achieve that role. I want to get promoted. I want to get there. But am I putting in the effort? Am I putting in the hours?
You have to put the work in.
Yeah, you have to put your elbow grease in. Get lots of work done.
Put in the hours. Okay, how do we define put in the hours? By I think I put in the hours? Or the person above me thinks I put in the hours?
Well, you can't quiet quit, right?
Yeah,
You've got
I
to
guess
put
so.
in
I
that
guess so.
extra
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, but if I feel okay, I'm working 8 hours a day, I'm putting in 10 hours. I'm doing the hours, but my boss says, if you really want to show me what you're worth, put in 12.
But I don't think effort works out to putting in overtime. You know what I mean? I think effort shows in your last point being the attitude as well.
Yeah.
Like you can really see that someone's put in an effort, and doesn't mean you have to stay beyond your 8 hours of work. That to me is not what effort is.
I don't know whether that's
Effort is
relative to
working
Singapore.
hard. Yeah. Okay, let's chat a little bit more. We go back on the Big Show TV. You can join us on Facebook and YouTube. The time right now is 8:14.
Kiss 92 time check.
Yeah, because to me, effort doesn't mean staying extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Likewise, my kids sometimes when it comes to studying for exams, say, but I study 5-6 hours a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how much did you learn?
How much you learn? You're just
Yeah.
sitting there,
Yeah.
you've got your headphones on and everything. It's
Exactly,
like, I know how
yeah.
much. That's not the effort.
Yeah.
But if you want to succeed at anything, it's going to be effort.
Yeah,
effort.
you could do the same amount of
just
studying in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really
Yeah,
concentrate
and if you
it.
put in the effort to concentrate,
Exactly,
and be
yeah.
very focused, right?
Yeah.
If you look at someone like you look at Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
talent is there, but you see the amount of effort, she
Effort.
puts
That's
in.
a hell of a lot of effort. That's a
It's-
hell of a lot of
It's
effort.
inhuman, the effort she puts in.
Like to your point, FD, I think the effort shows in the work.
I think so.
Do you know
too.
what I
The
mean?
output, right?
It will show in the results.
I really hope that is the situation in Singapore.
For example, like he's saying, kids study for 5 hours versus 45 minutes. I mean, if the 5 hours and the 45 minutes give the same results, then it shows that the 45 minutes is the effort,
Put in.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think a lot of bosses here tend to equate effort to the number of hours I see you in the
unfortunately.
office.
I've never thought of that though.
I know, but I think it's very
I think it's quite common
commonplace.
too. Yeah.
It's very
Very
commonplace in
old
Singapore.
school, but it does happen.
Yeah.
So I think that if anything is worth achieving or striving for, the effort has to be there. And if you look, nothing comes easy. In fact, when there's this very successful person once, they said that, wow, I love your overnight success. And he said, no, my overnight success took 18 years to build,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
You don't see it. It's
Yeah.
like the old proverbial duck on the water.
yeah.
Yes.
It looks so calm, but pedaling underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true,
for
very
sure.
true.
Okay, let me go to our WhatsApp channel because apparently, Adrian, you've got a question. Here it is. Nicholas is asking, when I was hired, the package I got was capped at the grade. 6 months down the line, the cap at that grade has increased. Can I request that my package match the max of the new increased cap of the grade? I think you understand what this all means,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Good morning. Answer is yes. Go ask. But before you go ask for that, you got to prepare a business case for it. If you're performing well, you've been doing well, you've been getting good grades, you've been closing good deals. Go have the conversation.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, if you've been like
Nothing to show for it.
late for work, taken like 15 days MCs in the 6 months, just saying.
Maxed out.
Maxed out,
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been leaving your coffee cup all over the place in the pantry.
Yeah.
Then you may want to fix
Clean
things
up
up
first.
Yeah, fix things up first
Yeah.
and build a case towards it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a lost cause if someone has been slacking and they want to go ask. They just ask a little bit later while tidying up
Yeah, they
behind
fix up,
themselves,
get a
right?
few good wins under your belt.
How long will that take? I mean, if you're completely not sloppy, but maybe not enough to approach your boss for that.
So Yen and I always believe that it is a campaign. Yen's favorite word is it's a campaign. So you take about anywhere between 6 months to do it. To if you
Yeah.
want to raise,
Yeah.
it doesn't come overnight.
So you campaign your own brand then.
You have to
Right,
campaign your own
that's-
brand because
that's-
when you joined the company, you agreed to get out of bed for X number of dollars.
Yeah.
Now that mark has gone higher,
What has changed in your?
what has changed in you to justify that jump? That's how I look at it as a
True,
boss.
true.
That's how I look at it.
So
You've got to
Nick,
justify it.
go ask your boss. Just have that conversation, but build a business case.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
Good luck, mate.
Okay, so we've had the talent, skills, and the effort. What's the fourth one?
The fourth one is the experience gap. So sometimes you want to be the manager or you want to lead a huge team of 50 people in this newly opened position in your company. Okay, but you've only had you only had management experience of maybe 2 or 3 people. So there is an experience gap. Or maybe you want someone who has direct experience in this particular field, but you don't have that much of it yet.
Right.
So you have to recognize that maybe the hurdle you need to hop over to overcome is the experience gap rather than any other gap that's more immediate. Because maybe you're ready to put in the effort, you have the talent for it, but you're just not ready yet. So it's what do you do then? Go and get the experience.
But for those that are starting out, you can't really help it, right? I mean, you just don't have the experience because you're that age.
Yeah.
Well, we all had the saying when we were starting out, right? You got to pay your dues.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, experience. It's paying your dues.
Yeah.
That's
You
it.
can't come along and expect to get. Yeah.
You pay your dues.
That's why I always tell people, who especially those who are starting out in their careers, do all the stuff. I can't use the word on air, but do the stuff that people don't want to do.
Do
Yeah,
the
do the
bloody
dirty
work.
work.
Do the bloody
Do the
work.
dirty
yeah.
Dirty work. Okay, the dirty work. I had
work.
another
Dirty work,
horrible
yeah.
word for dirty
Yeah.
work. but all clearing up other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Crap.
Yeah.
So it's get all the stuff done. The things that other people don't want to do. you
Get
could
your
do
hands
it.
dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my first job in Shell, I was given a choice between a cushy job handling the Shell, the petrol stations, or going out to the industry, walk the construction sites, or go up and down vessels at sea to make sure that the lubricants and the fuels are out. I chose the other one, and I got so much more experience
Right.
over time.
Yeah.
So go out and get the stuff that the experience and volunteer for it even.
Like a
Yeah.
lot of the great chefs as well, they all start out washing dishes. You know,
yeah,
then they
yeah.
all become apprentices, then they all become sous chefs, then they become executive chefs, then they
Yeah.
start opening up their own restaurants and get their own TV shows.
Yeah,
they
I
all
mean-
didn't just jump straight to the top.
Yeah,
It's all work.
We've heard nightmare stories of the first 3 weeks of work was nothing but peeling potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's paying your dues. That's
Yeah.
where you start.
Yeah.
You don't start at the top. I tell
Some
the-
people do.
Yeah, well,
some people
some
do,
of the lucky
yeah.
ones.
Nepo kids.
Yes, Nepo
Yeah, no,
children.
but at
yes.
the end of the day, and I've told this to my children, and I tell this to people that work for me. Your life needs to be a pyramid, not an inverted pyramid. You do all the dirty work and build that
And to build a foundation, yeah.
and then you climb to the peak.
And the foundation is what's going to make you strong.
It's what makes you strong. If
Yeah.
you're an inverted pyramid, you can topple at any point.
That's
Yeah,
very true. That's
yeah.
very
You
true.
know, and I always tell them this. It's so important to have that foundation.
For sure. And we sound like such old people right now. Okay, let's go to traffic. Look at Shalini. She's like,
Yes,
she's
Grandpa.
like, this all sounds so familiar. I've heard my parents
My
talking.
father told
And
me
all the
this.
young boys in the back as well. They're all like, oh my God.
What
This is like
this?
going home.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the PIE heading towards Tuas after Jalan Bahar, that's always a problem spot. Look out for a vehicle that's having a little bit of trouble. If you spot anything, 88550920 is our number. We're with Adrian Choo for the last few minutes of Happy at Work Thursday because at 8:30 we'll be welcoming Gina Beck as well as the musical director for Matilda into the studio. We're going to talk a little bit more about that.
So we've talked about talent gap, skills gap, effort gap, experience. There's still one more to go. But before we get to that, what do you say to someone like Siu Cheng who says, work smart, not hard?
Switching, good point, but I would say work smart and work hard.
Yes. Yes.
But you're right, you have to work smart because if you work dumb, then
Yes.
No, which reminds me of early in my career, I used to try. I thought I could impress my boss by staying late, but one day he came by at about 7:30. I was still in the office, and he said, "No, Adrian, if you're trying to impress me by staying back late, you're not. You're just showing me that you're inefficient."
See, that's the effort part that I was talking about. You
Yeah.
don't have to put the extra hours in.
But a lot of people think they have to, you see.
yeah,
This is the point.
it's like if nothing is showing for it, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But some companies, like the Japanese companies, their culture is still need to stick around till the boss goes.
Yeah, boss
Till
has
the
to
boss
leave.
goes, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And some of those bosses are there till 9 o'clock.
First one in, last one out.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about the last one,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is the attitude gap.
Ooh,
The
that
thing
can be
that's-
changed.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing that's stopping you from getting where you want to be is the attitude gap. Are you hungry enough to want it? Are you willing to sacrifice enough to want to get it? So, like for instance, if you want to be the CEO, if you want to gun right for the top, are you willing to sacrifice everything else sometimes? Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing to sacrifice everything else because I'm a very work-life balance kind of guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, do you have what it takes? Do you have the drive? Do you have that single focused, passionate vision to want to get ahead and at all costs? So sometimes there's an attitude gap, and it's not everyone's up for it, and it's
Yeah.
fine if you're not
Yeah.
up for it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about these are superstar performers going right for the top of the game. But if you want to get the promotion, you have to work towards it.
Of course.
Yeah, you must have that that go-getter. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it done no matter what. You must have that drive. So sometimes it's a gap that you may not have enough of the drive to do it. And if you are in a situation, then you need to ask yourself, do I really want it after all? Am I doing it because everyone expects me to take that promotion? Because I'm number 2 now, and and the number 1 boss is going to retire.
Yeah.
Do I want it? Or does everyone?
Or
really
am I
do
better
it?
where I am and let
Yeah.
somebody else take it?
Yes.
Because sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah, correct. Sometimes you just love the number 2 job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you're good at it.
And you're good at it. So it's and if you don't have that drive, the question you need to ask yourself is why, and is it the one for you? But if you want it, and you then therefore have to find yourself, you have to motivate yourself. If you really want it that bad,
Yeah.
but you don't have the drive, then maybe you got to learn how to motivate yourself, find reasons for wanting to get there.
Okay. Yeah, so today we're talking about why you may not be getting what you should be getting or what you feel you ought to be getting. And for that, you need to check yourself on your talent gap, your skills gap, your effort gap, your experience gap, and your attitude gap. Thank you so much, Adrian. Any final words?
Well, if you feel that you're not getting where you want to be, okay, a lot of times it's difficult to identify which gap you're at. Okay?
Yeah.
You need to take a step back, review. Sometimes the truth hurts, it's painful. That ultimately maybe I don't have the talent for this level of performance I want to drive at. Or maybe I don't have the drive because ...
Yeah.
Right? Take a step back, review. It can be uncomfortable, it can be painful, but I hope you find the solutions. And if you don't, you can always email us info@careeragility.org, and we're always happy to just have a conversation with you.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes we also have to realize that we're not where we want to be now for no other reason than
It's not
It's
the
not
right time.
time.
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
not time yet.
Your time will come.
Your
Yeah.
time will come.
The
Your
time will come.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Adrian, as always. We'll see you next week. Sorry to cut you short today.
No worries. Have a great one, everyone, and take
Will
care.
do.
Bye.
Take care.
All right, coming up, we have Matilda the Musical. We've got the Miss Honey as well as its musical director. Stay tuned.
Wake up.
Okay.
Matilda.
Matilda, yeah.
Matilda, she take me money. And
That's a different Matilda, that one.
sorry.
I think that one's a different Matilda for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Say that. Okay, I'll see you guys. I need to run.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Thank
Have
you
fun.
so much.
Okay, adios.
This is good.
Should
Louis.
We-
Louis is sitting here.
Lewis is here, is it?
Oh
Okay.
no, that's more.
And Gina. Okay, cool.
Oh no, Gina's next to you. Sorry. Oh, it's all the
Yeah,
way back.
I'll just.
Oh yeah,
I'll,
you gotta
I'll
move.
move. No worries.
Oh, you did move it a bit too much to.
Don't worry.
Can you zoom out?
We can figure it. As
that
you can
good?
see, we
Yeah.
you see, we leave the arrangements to the ladies because they know what they're doing. You know, the rest of us have no idea. We just put 2 chairs there and say sit. It's only the ladies who can do this. Like this one's got to sit here and that one's got to sit there. Yeah, exactly. No, don't worry. Men may outwardly
yes,
deny
what?
it, but we know that it's true. We may outwardly deny that women rule the world, but we know it's very, very true. By the way, don't forget, we've got our
Battle of the
Battle of the
Brands.
Brands, right? Apple versus Samsung, iOS versus Android. Which do you prefer? Tell us why.
Android user,
We're all Android.
except Shalini.
Shh.
Shalini went to the dark side.
You went the dark
recently.
side. Don't know why.
Are you enjoying it more than your Android?
I think it's about the same.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay, but the
interesting.
interface is pretty, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Apple, the interface is very pretty.
Yeah,
The games
yeah.
are very pretty.
Yeah, but I
It's
only
true.
play one game, so
Oh, are
okay.
the graphics better on this? Or it's about the same?
it's about the same.
About the same. Okay.
Yeah, the thing about, and I think one of the things about the Apple machinery, whether you're talking
I think
phones,
it's called software.
yeah, no,
Oh,
just
you mean the whole
machinery-
thing,
the whole
right,
thing,
the whole
the whole
thing.
machinery. Whether you're talking about their pads, their computers, their phones, it is. Apple has always been and will always be, I feel, the masters of marketing.
And eye candy.
Yeah,
They just
and
look really pretty.
They have
Everything
mastered
looks
this,
pretty,
and
yes.
no one challenges them on it.
No, everything is beautiful
Yeah.
to look at. You know, from
Yeah.
the packaging, the white boxes
Yeah.
to the store.
Yeah.
Everything
Everything.
is so aesthetically beautiful.
And it all flows.
Yes, that's
It
gorgeous. Like, you
flows.
can't say that it doesn't.
You can't take that away. You can't take that away from Apple at
All right, we are still waiting for Gina Beck, who plays Miss Honey on the ongoing Matilda the Musical at Marina Bay Sands. We also have Louis Zurnamer. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. We will find out. He is the musical director. Now, if you haven't yet caught it, I haven't. I haven't even watched the movie. Neither have I read the book. It is a Roald Dahl story, and it is currently ongoing at Marina Bay Sands, as I already said, until the 7th of April.
Who's watching us this morning?
Who is watching us this morning?
Carla.
I don't know who Carla is.
Shalini's
Oh,
mom.
Shalini's mama. Good morning. You have to give me some context.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, Carla.
Morning.
Okay.
But interesting. The one thing that's even on our Facebook, someone has said Apple is easy to use. I think any OS is easy to use once you get used to it.
Of course. Yes.
For an Android person going to Apple, it's not easy to use. You know,
No, I think Apple going to Android is harder.
It is,
Apple
but,
going
but
to Android
both
is harder.
ways, there's a learning curve.
There is
that
a learning
you have
curve,
to go
but
through.
it's like Apple is a lot easier. It's a better user interface for new people, for new users.
For new users.
But the other way around, Apple users get very frustrated when they go
They
to
do.
Android.
They
so
do.
again,
do.
I mean, we did say Apple versus Samsung, but it's also Apple versus the rest of the world.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
I use a Xiaomi. There is Samsung. There is
There
what
are
else is out there?
Oppos. What
Gosh.
else?
What else is that? Oh, HTC is not
No
really around.
longer.
Oh my.
Who else?
Sony? No. Does
Yes.
Sony have phones?
Sony still does phones, if
Okay.
I'm not
I
mistaken.
can't think of any. Huawei. What else?
But Huawei run their own
OS, yeah,
now.
their OS is. Doesn't Samsung also run? Does it have a Samsung OS or are they Android?
It's Android.
It's Android, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's an Android phone.
Oh my goodness, I can't think of any other.
But still, we're basically
Here,
looking
there.
at
Okay.
that, okay?
Hang on.
Voice notes, please, quickly.
Yeah, win a prize.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Angels. Hi, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Gina. Welcome. Good
Hi,
night.
Gina.
Hi, Louis.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome.
Come.
Louis, hi.
Come.
Louis,
Take
please.
seats.
Your seat is here. Gina's over there. You guys can go into the back if you want, or out wherever you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can stay in. All right, guys. If you want to we're already live on Facebook. If
Yes,
you want
we
to
are.
put your headphones on, you can hear everything that's happening. If you don't, we'll understand as well.
No worries.
Okay, we've got Louis Zurnamer. Is that the way I pronounce it?
Yes, that's very good.
Zurnamer.
Very
Okay,
good.
he's the
Zurnamer,
musical
okay.
director, and we have Gina Beck who plays Miss Honey on Matilda the Musical, which is currently at Marina Bay Sands and goes on till the 7th of April. We're very excited to see you here. I haven't gone to see the musical yet. We had our producers who went on the media night, and they had nothing but raving reviews the next day. They said it was absolutely spectacular.
But those were, that was the word used. It was spectacular.
Spectacular. It says it was visually beautiful, full of surprises. It was very well choreographed. I think we can do a little bit of background on the both of you before
Yeah.
we go on air
Yeah.
and do a proper introduction of Matilda. So, Louis, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I mean, your background with, musicals and all that.
I'm the musical director, so I sit at the front waving my arms and
Telling everyone what to do.
air traffic control.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I do. I've been in musical theatre for about 20 years.
All right.
And doing all sorts of stuff from Phantom of the Opera through to Cats. And this is actually my 5th time in Singapore and my 4th production here. I've done Sound of Music here, Singing in the Rain, Evita, and of course Matilda in 2019.
Oh wow! Okay, so
Nice.
you're very familiar with Singapore.
Yes.
And yourself, Gina? I mean, you've been here before.
I've been here before, but I've not performed here before.
Okay, so for a holiday.
Yes. Well, actually, my ex-boyfriend was doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. here
Okay.
in
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
yeah. So it is a repeat visit, but obviously, it's an amazing city.
All right.
Great.
Okay, let's go to traffic and then we'll go on air and do an introduction.
92 traffic.
On the ECP towards the airport, right after the Bayshore Road exit, look out for a broken down vehicle. And on the TPE towards the PIE, right at the Pongal Road entrance, an accident situation has been reported. Look out for that and stay safe wherever you are. Good morning. It's a very exciting Thursday here on The Big Show. We have FD and myself, along with Miss Gina Beck, who plays Miss Honey, as well as Louis. Louis Zurnamer is the musical director. Good morning, guys. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning.
We're very excited to have you here and talk about a musical that's been seen all over the world by more than 11 million people. It's won 101 major awards, 24 times for Best Musical. It's also in the Guinness Book of World Records 2013 for most Laurence Olivier Award wins. How spectacular is that to be involved in something so amazing?
It certainly is, yes.
Does that put extra pressure on you guys? It has to, right? I mean, carrying that kind of history.
It's just actually amazing because obviously the audiences are so ready to watch it, and if obviously if they've seen the Netflix recent film, they're even more invested in knowing that they love it and they want to come and see it live. And it's obviously such an amazingly different experience seeing it live in the theatre to seeing it at home on their TVs. And I think they just get carried away by how all the like inventions that we have in the show and the magical things that happen. I think they get blown away by it.
Yes, and I think also, you know, when you do it for so long, I think often friends of mine at home ask, how do you do it still for, you know, for this long? Because we've done production in Japan, subsequently, etc. But I think it's exactly that, is that the material is so phenomenal. And even when you get to a moment in the week when you go, okay, let's do this, you're just so aware of the brilliance of the material. You're working with really, it's good stuff.
A lot of people know the story, but not everyone may know the story. So if you could, in a nutshell, tell us what Matilda is about.
Matilda is about an incredible little girl who is unfortunate in being born into a family of quite horrible people. And maybe slightly partly because of that, but also because of her incredible mind. She she goes on a huge journey, changing people's lives for the better, using her like resilience and her strength as a kind of, she's just a very much like that's not right. That's her like catchline, and she just basically just hates injustice in the world and kind of puts everybody's lives back into order during the show.
If only we could have more Matildas in the world.
Exactly, yeah, right. We need some of those in politics.
Yeah, exactly that. Okay, Matilda is currently showing at Marina Bay Sands until the 7th of April. You can get your tickets at sistik.com.sg or marinabaysands.com. So once again, we're speaking to Gina Beck, who plays Miss Honey, as well as Louis Zurnamer, the musical director. Join us on The Big Show TV on YouTube and Facebook right now. Here's Brittany on Kiss 92. Okay. What about the music? I mean, musical director Louis, I mean, how much fun is it, or how hard is it to direct something like Matilda? Because there's so many moving parts.
Yes, certainly. It's incredibly well written. The tunes are by Tim Minchin, and then the incidental music is all by a phenomenal guy called Chris Nightingale, who's just such a genius.
Yeah,
the music is just so gorgeous, and it sounds like nothing. It doesn't sound like contemporary musical theatre, really. It doesn't sound like classical music theatre. It has such a specifically unique sound. And I think the challenge is, obviously there's a lot of underscoring, so there's a lot of music that happens during dialogue, and that's where the biggest challenge lies, to try and fit music into spoken word. And I have such a wonderful team around me, and the musicians around me are phenomenal, so they often save me.
Aww, I'm sure they say the same thing about you. And are there any sort of like backstories or things that people need to look out for that people often miss in the audience? You know, because again, there's so much that's going on stage, but little secrets that perhaps you could share that someone who's going to go this weekend could maybe look out for.
Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of magic, but we can't give any secrets.
No, of course, no, not the magical ones. That is real magic, exactly.
No, it's just look out for just the precision of the choreography, because if you just sort of watch it and just think, oh, that's nice. If you actually look at what these amazing dancers in the ensemble are doing, it is genius. I think the choreography is exceptional, and I've never seen anything like it.
Wow.
And also, I think if you know the original illustrations, I just
it just became shorter.
if you know the original illustrations in the Roald Dahl books, then I think the costume design is very clever with sort of the slightly elongated lines. It's very, very clever.
The Trunchbull especially is
yes,
is
and
so
Mrs.
true to
Wormwood.
so true. Yeah.
Okay, so those are a little bit things to look
some
out
things
for.
to look out for. How long is Matilda
Actually,
in terms of time?
It's
The show itself?
The
2
show
hours,
itself.
40 minutes with an interval.
Probably.
20-minute interval.
3 hours, 40?
2 hours.
2 hours.
2
Like,
hours,
wow.
40. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
doable. 2 hours 40 is a good time.
It
good timing.
licks along, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got great pace.
Is it for everybody?
I think so. And you know, I didn't grow up with Roald Dahl because English isn't my first language. So I discovered Roald Dahl really late. A lot of my English friends grew up with it as
Part of their
children's-
literature,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I certainly don't feel alienated from it. And I think also it's definitely not just a children's show. The humor there's some very phenomenal irony and just beautiful humor in it for adults especially.
Yeah.
So whether you know the story or not, just go and
Just
discover
go.
Matilda.
Yeah.
I think because I grew up with Matilda. I've got 4 girls. So I grew up with Roald Dahl. They read everything that he's written. And even as an adult, you can pick up a Roald Dahl book.
Oh, for sure.
And you'll get
Absolutely.
It's immersive.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
It's actually
the
great to
storytelling
read.
is absolutely great.
God, the short stories are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, they are. They are, and I think it's for every child and every adult who has a child in them.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
and like
so.
you said, like the nuances and all that that people will pick up as adults in the audience watching Matilda will be good for the older set as well.
Oh, absolutely, and I think we've seen with so many of these sort of franchises in the last decade, like the Harry Potter stuff. You know,
Yeah.
where, you know,
Yeah.
certainly the audience has become so wide. People are open to a story of innocence and bravery within that story of innocence.
Yeah.
I think it's just the world that we live in. So you will certainly not come to the theatre and not leave happy.
Oh wow, I like
We-
that.
That's good.
I
That's
like
good.
that.
That's good.
If you're feeling a little bit down, you need some pick me up. Once again, Matilda is probably something that you should experience once in your life until the 7th of April at MBS. You can get your tickets at their website as well as cystic.com.sg. How many people are in this production, would you say?
So
All in.
Is it like maybe 35 casts?
35, 37?
37.
And I'm sure
And
you
then
did.
a
You
lot of people backstage, obviously.
of course. Did you
Yeah,
cast
yeah.
them locals as well in this?
Not this time.
Not this
not
time.
this
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I know why you ask, because we did that
Music,
previous year with
Sound
of
Sound of
Musical.
Music and
Yeah,
with the
Sound of
theatre,
Music,
but this
sorry.
time we're traveling with our own set of phenomenal children.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
I mean, Gina gets to work with them every day on
Yeah.
stage, so she's
It's just mind blowing, really. How precise they are, and they deliver
Consistent.
this consistent performance. For children, it's just incredible. Always. blows my
I'm
mind.
just curious, and this is the father in me coming out. So you're traveling with kids.
Yeah.
What happens with school?
They
they
get schooled. Yeah.
Oh, they get
They
schooled
get
on
schooled.
set?
Yeah, they have a tutor that comes, does it with them in the hotel every morning.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do parents travel with them? Or
they have
tra-
one parent each.
Oh, they have one parent
Wow.
each. And what are the age ranges of these children?
Is it 9 to 14?
Oh, 9 is the
9 to
youngest.
14.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Well, that's just part of an amazing childhood, being able to do this.
No, can you
Yes.
imagine China, Bangkok,
Yeah.
Singapore,
Where you guys go? Where did you guys come from?
Bangkok,
Bangkok,
yeah.
and you guys go
I
after
would go
too?
Mumbai and then
Oh, nice.
Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
Wow.
so much fun. India is wonderful. I mean, Abu Dhabi, I would say, is very much like Singapore, very
Yeah.
sort of, clean and everything
Yeah.
works and all that.
Yeah.
But Bombay, I mean, it's so colorful. It's so
Yeah.
much chaos
Yeah,
and
Yes.
looking forward
going
to that.
on.
I've not been before. So.
You're
Oh,
not lots of
it's-
honking,
Yeah.
get used to the
It's
horn.
special. It's very special.
Yeah, it's great. How much time do you guys get off when you travel like this? Do you get a lot of free time, or is it just work?
there's a lot of work.
It's mostly work.
Mondays are usually our weekends,
It's more
but
work for you, I'd say.
we do cover calls and stuff every week, rehearsals, just to keep things smooth and to make sure that we are covered in case of emergencies.
Of course.
Or if we have cast changes. we rehearse those people in. But we are very lucky as well. I mean, the crew work incredibly hard, the people backstage, because when the show moves, for example, they're the guys who dismantle everything and build
And
it
you
again.
guys are just off
and
shopping
then-
or something.
Well, I
Few
mean,
days off.
we
Yeah.
were very lucky now. In Thailand, for instance, we had 3 days off while the
Yeah.
show moved here. And
It's the
while
logistical side of it that you don't see.
That's exactly what it is.
What's going on?
Transfer a
It's
show of
massive.
this size is always, especially all the big shows, that
Yeah.
are touring around like this. It's just amazing, isn't it? They
Yeah,
just
and
pack it
these
up.
technical teams really. I mean, but you guys must feel the same about your technical teams. They do stuff. You go, how on earth? Where do they
Yeah,
find
that one.
the
Yeah.
energy?
Yeah.
We're actually off to Australia next month, and we're going to be broadcasting the show live from there for a week. But we're kind of like, oh, what should we pack? What should we wear? This and that, and they're all like, oh, we're not sure if this will work and this will work. We're like, okay, you guys take care of that. We're just going to talk.
We're figuring out what we're going to wear on the show. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
See, and she's already shaking her head.
I love that.
So very exciting. So I'm detecting a South African accent.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and you're British, obviously. How many countries are involved in this production in Singapore right now? How many nationalities would you guys say you have?
Well, there's definitely a lot of South Africans
South
and
African
English.
Brits, yeah.
But is there any other?
We had some Belgian, Singaporean, obviously because we have local crew, a lot
Yeah,
of
of
local
course.
crew.
Chinese.
Chinese, yes.
So the crew is mainly South African, British, and British.
And local.
And local
Yeah,
as
some
well.
Of course we have
phenomenal,
the
very
local,
experienced Singaporean
Yeah.
crew.
Very, very
Okay, nice.
Wow.
That's a good mix.
Interesting.
It's a good mix. Okay, we're going to go back on air one last time. We'll talk a little bit more about Matilda, and then you guys can go back to sleep. What does your day look like after this? Are you guys rehearsal? It's not rehearsal every day, is it?
Today I have rehearsals
Okay.
this afternoon, but I'm
me.
planning on going to a hot yoga class before that.
Oh, wow, look at that. Nice.
And definitely very strong coffee.
Don't know whether you need a hot yoga class in our heat.
No,
It's quite a
it is
challenge.
Still good. It's still good. Okay, going back. Nicki Minaj there putting some super bass into your Thursday morning. Good morning. It's The Big Show, and we are with Gina Beck, Miss Honey, on the current Matilda the Musical that's playing at Marina Bay Sands, accompanied by Louis Zurnamer, who is the musical director. Thank you so much for waking up with us and coming into the studio. Matilda was released on Netflix a couple of years ago. Matilda the Musical is now at Marina Bay Sands. How different are the two?
They are different. The essential story and the music and quite some of the choreography is similar, but obviously you get a greater license in a film to make things huge and
Of course, yeah.
and obviously the magic and everything is big in the film, and they've taken different ways of presenting. Some characters have been cut that are in the musical, that are in the film.
In the film, right? Okay.
So it is different, but the essential sort of
agreed.
Matilda-ness of it is very similar to the musical on stage.
Okay.
But obviously you get a live experience, which I think is really great for everybody to come and experience. Obviously it's expensive and it's not maybe like an every week thing, but like at least take your kids to the live theatre once a year. And
Of course, yeah.
It's just it's sort of like so different from watching anything on the screen. I think it's a brilliant thing to see.
Okay.
I think I take my kids to it. When they were younger, I took my kids to it because I find that theatre is a lot more personal.
Definitely.
It's a finer touch that you feel with theatre than you do from a movie.
Yeah.
And it's 3D. It's up close and personal.
It's up close and personal.
It's like Gina was saying, things that can be done on screen cannot be done on the stage.
Yeah.
Are there songs that are specifically for the musical on stage that don't appear anywhere else?
Yes,
I'm sure they are, right?
Involving those characters that were
cut
unfortunately
from
cut
the
the film, but there's also
right.
extra songs in the film that are not in the show. So it's
Right.
it is
Okay.
different. They did make a lot of changes, but obviously, like I said, it's still definitely recognisable, as Tin mentions. Matilda.
Yeah, absolutely, and it comes from the minds of the same creative team who did the
same director.
same director and
For the movie
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
production.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
right.
okay. One reason why people should go as a final word. Louis?
Just to come see us because we're there.
Definitely.
Where
Just
are
come
you when
visit.
Yeah,
where are
you'll
you when
see him.
everything is going on? Are you in the front?
I'm in the pit.
You're in
yes.
the pits in the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waving his hands around. Great. Sometimes you give him a little wink.
We give them a bit of a giggle.
Oh, I'm sure there's some inside jokes
Yeah.
that go on as well. And Gina, one reason for people to take their kids or their partners,
I
adults.
just think it'll blow their minds, especially if they've not seen a lot of theatre. This one is the one
Yes.
to watch and to get caught up in that everything.
Perfect. It sounds like something for those that may not be musical fans as well.
exactly,
Just
yes.
go and enjoy that. We've been speaking to musical director for Matilda the Musical, Louis Zurnamer. I keep tripping on your last name, as well as Gina Beck, who plays Miss Honey. So look out for her role in Matilda the Musical, playing now at Marina Bay Sands until the 7th of April. You can get your tickets from sistik.com.sg as well as marinabaysands.com. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. And that's it for the Big Show TV. Coming up, headline news and sports.
The only way to get out of bed. Glenn